Hello there, and welcome, weary traveler, to Sleepy Wiki. As you settle into this quiet moment, gently release any tension you might be holding. Allow your shoulders to drop, soften your gaze, and feel your breath begin to slow, easing into a deeper, more peaceful rhythm. Tonight, our gentle journey leads us to ponder a concept as ancient as thought itself and as universally sought as the dawn. We shall drift softly into the realm of happiness. What is this fleeting, shimmering thing that artists chase, philosophers dissect, and every heart quietly yearns for? Is it a destination? A sudden burst of sunshine, or a quiet, persistent current beneath the surface of our days? We won't seek to define it definitively, but rather to unfurl its many petals, observing its subtle forms and gentle whispers across cultures and through time. Together, we'll explore the quiet corners where it often resides, like a shy, beautiful butterfly. This will be a gentle, unhurried exploration, designed not to find answers, but to invite contemplation as you slowly, peacefully drift. If you find comfort in these whispered journeys and wish for more such tranquil explorations, a soft tap on the like button or a quiet subscribe helps these peaceful moments reach other souls seeking calm and gentle rest. Now, as your mind continues to unwind, let us turn our thoughts to the very essence of contentment itself and begin our quiet exploration of happiness. Imagine, if you will, the concept of happiness as a shimmering mist, ever present yet famously difficult to grasp. For centuries, poets and philosophers have tried to capture its essence, to hold it in their hands, to describe its form. But it wasn't until more recently that scientists, with their tools of observation and inquiry, began to offer their own unique lenses through which to view this elusive glow. Like astronomers charting the vast night sky, researchers have identified certain conceptual frameworks, distinct constellations, if you will, that help us understand the different ways happiness manifests in our lives. There isn't a single, universally agreed upon definition, and that, my dear listener, is part of its profound beauty and complexity. Instead, we have different dimensions, different flavors, different aspects of what it means to be happy. Tonight, let's explore three of the most significant. First, let us turn our gaze to what many intuitively think of as happiness, the feel-good kind. This is often referred to as hedonic happiness. Picture a burst of warm sunlight on your face on a cool morning, the delightful sweetness of a perfectly ripe berry on your tongue, the soft, rhythmic purr of a contented cat curled beside you, or the infectious peal of laughter shared with a loved one. Hedonic happiness is about pleasure, joy, comfort, and the absence of pain. It's the immediate sensory experience of feeling good right now in this moment. This framework has roots stretching back to ancient philosophers like Aristippus and Epicurus, who believed that the pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of suffering were the ultimate goals of human existence. Later, the utilitarians like Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill further developed this idea, suggesting that the best actions were those that maximized pleasure and minimized pain for the greatest number of people. In a scientific context, when researchers talk about hedonic well-being, they are often referring to the balance of positive and negative emotions a person experiences over time. Are the moments of joy, contentment, and delight more frequent and intense than the moments of sadness, anger, or stress? Think of hedonic happiness as a sparkling river, its surface catching fleeting reflections of light. Sometimes it's a calm, meandering stream, offering gentle ripples of peace. Other times, it's a lively current, brimming with the effervescence of exhilaration. It flows, it changes, and it brings with it delightful momentary sensations. Researchers often measure this through tools like the Positive and Negative Affect Schedule, or PANAS, which asks people to rate how much they've experienced various positive and negative emotions over a specific period. It's about the cumulative glow of these pleasant, momentary emotional states, like collecting handfuls of luminous dewdrops. Now, let us gently shift our perspective from the shimmering surface of the river to the profound depths beneath it, to the sturdy roots of ancient trees reaching deep into the earth. This brings us to the second, and arguably more complex, conceptual framework: eudaimonic happiness. This term, originating from the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, translates roughly to human flourishing, or living a good life. It's not merely about feeling good, but about doing good, about growing, about fulfilling one's potential, and about finding purpose and meaning in life. Eudaimonic happiness is less about fleeting pleasure and more about deep, abiding satisfaction derived from living in alignment with one's values, engaging with life's challenges, and contributing to something larger than oneself. Imagine the satisfaction of painstakingly building a beautiful, intricate ship, knowing it will sail far and weather storms, or the profound sense of accomplishment after successfully nurturing a garden from tiny seeds to bountiful harvest. It's the feeling of being truly engaged, of utilizing your unique strengths, of having meaningful relationships, and of pursuing worthy goals. Positive psychology, a relatively modern field of scientific inquiry, has embraced and expanded upon Aristotle's ideas of eudaimonia. Figures like Martin Seligman, a pioneer in this field, have developed models like PERMA, standing for positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment, to encompass the various dimensions of eudaimonic well-being. When we talk about eudaimonic happiness, we're considering elements like personal growth, a sense of autonomy, environmental mastery, the ability to manage one's life, positive relations with others, and a clear purpose in life. It's the profound resonance you feel when your actions are in harmony with your deepest aspirations, like a finely tuned instrument producing a rich, resonant chord. Finally, let's consider a third framework that often serves as a kind of overarching judgment: life satisfaction. Imagine you are an artist stepping back from your canvas, or a traveler looking down from a high peak at the map of their journey so far. Life satisfaction is a cognitive evaluation, a reflective judgment you make about your life as a whole. It's a considered answer to the question, am I content with my life? Is it going well according to my own standards and aspirations? This framework acts as a bridge, often integrating aspects of both hedonic and eudaimonic happiness. Someone might experience many positive emotions, hedonia, and feel a strong sense of purpose, eudaimonia, leading them to evaluate their life as highly satisfying. Conversely, Someone might find deep meaning in their work despite daily struggles, and still report high life satisfaction because their overall assessment is positive. It's a global assessment, a reflective pause where we weigh our experiences, our achievements, our relationships, and our overall sense of well-being against our personal ideals. Scales. Like the satisfaction with life scale, or SWLS, are commonly used by researchers to measure this cognitive component of happiness. It's not about the momentary flicker of joy, nor solely about the profound depth of purpose, but rather an encompassing, thoughtful appraisal of one's existence. It's like gazing upon a magnificent stained glass window. You appreciate the individual vibrant colors and intricate patterns, hedonic and eudaimonic elements, but also the collective beauty and harmony of the entire composition, life satisfaction. So, as you can see, happiness isn't a simple, singular thing. It's a rich tapestry woven from many threads, threads of fleeting joy, of profound purpose, and of quiet contentment with the journey itself. These frameworks aren't mutually exclusive. Rather, they are different lenses through which we can appreciate the multifaceted gem that is human well-being. Even our incredible brains seem to have different pathways that light up, like tiny constellations, depending on whether we're savoring a sweet moment or reflecting on a life well lived. Understanding these distinctions helps scientists and us to understand the full spectrum of what it means to be happy. Tonight, as we continue our gentle exploration, perhaps we can next wonder, what are the threads from which this complex tapestry of happiness is woven? What are the factors that influence these various dimensions of our well-being? To understand these threads, let us begin at the very beginning, with the ancient roots of joy itself. We chase joy. We yearn for happiness. But have you ever stopped to wonder why it feels so good? What ancient purpose does that spark in your eye, that warmth in your chest, truly serve? Let's drift back, far beyond the illuminated screens and busy streets, to a time when life was raw, immediate, and every sunrise was a testament to survival. Picture our earliest ancestors, living under vast open skies, their lives interwoven with the rhythm of nature. In that world, every sensation, every emotion was a tool, honed over eons, designed to keep them alive and ensure the continuation of their lineage. Joy, too, was one such exquisite tool, a guiding star in the complex tapestry of existence. Evolutionary psychology invites us to see joy not merely as a pleasant sensation, but as a profound signal, a built-in compass that points us towards actions and environments that historically promoted survival and reproduction. It's a whisper from our deep past, reminding us what truly matters, what is truly good for us in the grand, unfolding story of life. Think about the sheer, exhilarating thrill an ancient human might have felt upon discovering a bountiful patch of berries after a long, hungry journey, or successfully tracking an elusive game animal for days. That surge of elation, that burst of inner celebration wasn't just a fleeting mood. It was the brain's brilliant way of saying, "Yes, this is excellent. Remember this place, remember this strategy, repeat this behavior." This internal reward system, deeply rooted in our neurobiology, is driven in large part by the neurotransmitter dopamine. Dopamine isn't just about pleasure. It's a powerful motivator, a chemical beacon that lights up pathways associated with reward, learning, and goal-directed behavior. When our ancestors achieved something vital, a successful hunt, finding fresh water, crafting a useful tool, their brains released dopamine, reinforcing those actions, etching them into memory as something worth repeating. It's the same system that sparks joy in us today when we solve a complex puzzle, learn a new skill, or achieve a long-sought goal. That was aha moment, that sense of accomplishment, is a direct echo of those ancient triumphs. But joy wasn't just about individual achievement, it was profoundly social. Imagine a small band of early humans huddled together around a flickering fire, sharing stories, laughing at a playful jest, or finding solace in each other's presence after a day of facing dangers. The feeling of belonging, of connection, of shared warmth. This, too, was a powerful form of joy. In a world fraught with predators and scarce resources, cooperation was paramount. A lone individual was vulnerable. A cohesive group was resilient. The joy derived from social bonding, from mutual trust and cooperation, was crucial for survival. It fostered altruism, strengthened alliances, and ensured collective safety. This deep, comforting joy of connection is heavily influenced by oxytocin, often called the love hormone or Clar's bonding chemical. Oxytocin is released during physical touch, shared experiences, and moments of trust. It strengthens social ties, promotes empathy, and reduces fear, making us feel safe and secure within our tribe. When you feel that gentle warmth of connection with a friend, the deep contentment of family, or the shared laughter with a community, you're experiencing the ancient, evolutionarily vital joy of belonging, orchestrated by these very neurochemicals. Consider also the joy of safety and relief. After narrowly escaping a predator or finding a secure cave during a fierce storm, there wasn't just an absence of fear. There was a profound sense of relief, a deep, settling contentment. This feeling, often associated with the neurotransmitter serotonin, contributed to a sense of well-being and emotional stability. Serotonin helps regulate mood, sleep, appetite, and digestion, and its balanced levels contribute to feelings of contentment and calm. For our ancestors, knowing they were safe, that their immediate needs were met, would have brought a quiet, abiding joy that allowed them to rest, recover, and prepare for the next challenge. Today, this translates to the peacefulness you feel in your own safe home, the relief after a stressful period, or the simple contentment of a calm evening. And what about play? The exuberant joy of playful wrestling, the giggles of children mimicking adult activities, the mock chases and tumbles. Play might seem frivolous, but for our ancestors, it was a vital training ground. It allowed them to practice essential survival skills, agility, problem-solving, social negotiation, in a low-stakes environment. The sheer fun, the boundless energy, the release of tension during play was often accompanied by endorphins, our body's natural painkillers and mood elevators. Endorphins contribute to feelings of euphoria and well-being, especially after physical exertion or laughter. This ancient impulse to play, to explore, to test our limits in joyful ways, still enriches our lives from sports and games to creative pursuits and simple silliness. It's how we learn, how we bond, and how we release accumulated stress, all while basking in the natural reward of internal chemistry. So, when we experience joy today, whether it's from a kind word, a beautiful piece of music, a delicious meal, or the success of a project, we are tapping into this deeply wired system. Our brains, magnificently evolved over millions of years, are still designed to tag experiences that are good for us, experiences that promote our well-being, our connections, our learning, and ultimately our thriving, with that wonderful, effervescent feeling we call joy. It's our internal motivational speaker whispering, this way lies flourishing." Understanding this evolutionary blueprint for joy doesn't diminish its magic. Rather, it deepens our appreciation for its profound wisdom. It reveals joy as a fundamental force, intricately woven into the fabric of life, guiding generations upon generations towards growth, connection, and survival. It's a reminder that happiness isn't just a luxury. It's a vital component of our biological heritage, a testament to what truly makes us human. As we gently bring our thoughts back from these ancient landscapes, we carry with us the understanding that the roots of our happiness run incredibly deep. And this foundational understanding naturally leads us to wonder, if joy has such a clear evolutionary purpose, where exactly in our magnificent brain does this ancient wisdom reside? How do these primal impulses become the feelings we experience today? To answer this, let us turn our gaze inward, gently exploring the most intricate and wondrous landscape within us, the human brain. Imagine it, for a moment, not as a complex machine, but as a vast, bustling city, humming softly beneath the skull. Its streets are intricate neural pathways, its buildings are specialized brain regions, and its citizens are billions of tiny neurons, constantly communicating, sending out signals like gentle whispers across an infinite expanse. Tonight, we're not just observing this city. We're exploring its sunlit plazas and tranquil gardens, the very places where our well-being states are born and nurtured. For happiness, contentment, and peace are not mere fleeting emotions. They are intricately woven tapestries, meticulously crafted by the elegant dance of chemistry and electricity within your own mind. Let's begin by meeting some of the city's most important messengers, tiny chemical couriers known as neurotransmitters. Think of them as the delicate notes in a complex symphony, each contributing its unique melody to the feeling of well-being. There's dopamine, often misunderstood as simply the pleasure chemical. But dopamine is far more nuanced. It's the golden thread of anticipation and motivation that pulls us gently forward. It's the spark of curiosity, the aha moment of discovery, the quiet thrill of knowing something good is coming. When you learn something new or set a gentle intention for tomorrow, dopamine lights up pathways in your brain's reward system, particularly connecting the ventral tegmental area, VTA, to the nucleus accumbens, NAC. It whispers, keep going, explore more, guiding you towards experiences that are fulfilling. It's the gentle hum of potential rather than a fleeting burst of joy that truly cultivates long-term well-being. Then there is serotonin, often spoken of as the conductor of our mood orchestra. While dopamine is the spark, serotonin is the steady, quiet glow of contentment and calm. It's the feeling of peace that settles over you as you watch the stars, or the deep satisfaction after a wholesome meal. Serotonin helps regulate mood, sleep, appetite, and even digestion, acting as a gentle balm for the nervous system. When your serotonin levels are balanced, the city of your mind feels harmonious, its streets flowing smoothly, its citizens feeling a sense of quiet security. It helps to quiet the mind's incessant chatter, allowing for a deeper sense of inner peace and resilience. This isn't a sudden burst of excitement, but a deep, steady undercurrent of well-being, like a tranquil river flowing through your inner landscape. Next, let's welcome oxytocin, often called the love hormone or the cuddle chemical. Imagine it as the invisible glue that binds us to one another, a warm, tender embrace for the soul. Oxytocin is released during moments of social bonding, a gentle touch, a heartfelt conversation, looking into the eyes of a loved one, or even the soft purr of a beloved pet. It fosters trust, empathy, and connection, knitting us into the comforting fabric of community. It dampens the activity in the amygdala, our brain's ancient alarm bell, soothing fears and anxieties, making us feel safe and connected. This powerful neurotransmitter reminds us that well-being isn't just an individual journey, but often a shared melody resonating between hearts. And let's not forget endorphins, our body's natural painkillers and mood elevators. Think of them as nature's own comfort blanket, released during physical activity, laughter, or even deep relaxation. They create a gentle euphoria, softening the sharp edges of discomfort and leaving us with a feeling of mild bliss, a runner's high for the mind, even if you're simply enjoying a quiet stretch or a good belly laugh. These chemical messengers don't work in isolation. They engage in a continuous, intricate dance, influencing and balancing each other. But beyond these individual notes, the true symphony of well-being emerges from the interplay of various brain regions, each playing its vital role. At the forefront of this orchestra is your prefrontal cortex, PFC. Particularly the regions in the very front of your brain. Think of the PFC as the wise conductor, the discerning editor, or perhaps a lighthouse standing tall, guiding ships through murky waters. This is the seat of executive functions, planning, decision-making, emotional regulation, and our capacity for foresight. It allows us to pause before reacting, to choose compassion over anger, to find meaning in our experiences, and to envision a positive future. When your prefrontal cortex is actively engaged in ways that promote well-being, perhaps by practicing gratitude, reflecting on your strengths, or making kind choices, it helps to regulate the more primitive, reactive parts of your brain, like the limbic system. It helps you to reappraise challenging situations, seeing them not as threats, but as opportunities for growth or learning, cultivating a sense of calm resilience. Within that ancient limbic system, we find the amygdala, which acts like an internal alarm bell, quickly assessing threats, but also the hippocampus, a librarian of memories and context. In states of well-being, The wise PFC helps to quiet an overactive amygdala, preventing false alarms and allowing us to feel secure. The hippocampus then steps in, recalling past positive experiences, weaving a rich tapestry of resilience and hope from your own personal history. And let's gently acknowledge the role of the vagus nerve, a long, wandering pathway connecting your brain to your heart, lungs, and gut. It's a key player in your parasympathetic nervous system, often called the rest and digest system. When you take a deep, slow breath or hum a soft tune, you gently stimulate your vagus nerve, sending calming signals throughout your body, like a soothing ripple effect. It's a direct line to tranquility, a physiological embrace that reminds your system it's safe to relax and restore. The most profound realization about this inner city, this intricate brain, is its remarkable capacity for change, known as neuroplasticity. Your brain is not a static structure. It is a dynamic, living garden that can be tended and cultivated. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every action you take subtly reshapes its pathways. Neurons that fire together, wire together. This simple adage means that the more you engage in practices that foster well-being, the stronger those neural pathways become. You can literally build new highways for happiness, deepening grooves of gratitude, compassion, and inner peace. Studies have shown, for instance, that regular mindfulness meditation can lead to increased thickness in the prefrontal cortex, enhancing its ability to regulate emotions, while simultaneously reducing the size and activity of the amygdala, making us less reactive to stress. It's like adding more sophisticated traffic lights and calm guidance to our bustling inner city, ensuring smoother flow and fewer bottlenecks. So, as you rest, remember that your brain is continuously learning and adapting. It's a magnificent organ of transformation, constantly evolving in response to your experiences and your intentions. By understanding a little about its workings, we begin to appreciate the profound power we hold to gently steer our inner landscape towards states of greater calm, joy, and deep contentment. And as we understand these delicate, intricate mechanisms, we naturally begin to wonder, what are the different ways this inner symphony can play? What variations of well-being does our magnificent brain create? Now that we've glimpsed the brain's inner workings, let's step back and observe the whole picture. This beautiful state of happiness isn't a single shimmering jewel, but rather a constellation of bright stars, each contributing to its radiant glow. Researchers, with their quiet observations and thoughtful studies, have found that what we often call happiness is more accurately understood as subjective well-being, a personal and deeply felt assessment of our lives. And within this vast, tranquil ocean of well-being, three distinct currents can be discerned, each shaping the journey. Imagine, if you will, that your life is a grand, unfolding story. The first component of subjective well-being is like taking a quiet moment to read your story from the beginning, reflecting on its chapters, its plot twists, and its overarching themes. This is what we call life satisfaction. It's a cognitive evaluation, a thoughtful judgment you make about your life as a whole, or about important domains within it, like your relationships, your work, or your health. It's not about how you feel in this very instant, but rather a deeper, more reflective sense of how well your life is going when you consider it thoughtfully. Think of it as looking down from a gentle, hot air balloon, high above the landscape of your existence. From this peaceful vantage point, you observe the winding rivers, the sprawling forests, the cozy homes, and the distant mountains. You're not focused on a single blade of grass, but on the overall panorama. When researchers like Dr. Ed Diener and his colleagues began to meticulously study happiness, they recognized this vital distinction, that our immediate feelings are different from our considered opinion about our lives. They found that people who report high life satisfaction often feel a deep sense of purpose and meaning, a quiet contentment with the trajectory they're on, even if every single day isn't filled with effervescent joy. This doesn't mean ignoring the occasional storm cloud, but rather acknowledging them as part of the broader, often beautiful, weather pattern of life. It's about whether, on balance, you feel your story is a good one, unfolding in a way that aligns with your deepest values and aspirations. Now, let's descend gently from our hot air balloon and wander into the vibrant garden of our emotions. Here, we encounter the second component: positive affect. This is the delightful presence of pleasant emotions, the gentle warmth of joy, the comforting embrace of love, the peaceful hush of contentment, the quiet spark of interest, the soft pride in achievement, the tender affection for another. It's the frequency and intensity with which we experience these agreeable feelings. Imagine walking through a meadow on a sun-dappled morning. Every ray of sunlight, every dewdrop shimmering on a spider web, every sweet scent carried on the breeze is a small positive effect. These moments aren't always grand or dramatic. Often they are subtle, like the quiet satisfaction of a task well done, the soft laughter shared with a loved one, or the simple pleasure of a warm drink on a cool evening. Researchers, particularly those like Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, have illuminated how these positive emotions do more than just make us feel good in the moment. Her broaden and build theory suggests that they actually broaden our minds, opening us up to new possibilities, new ways of thinking, and new actions. When we feel positive, we become more creative, more resilient, and more connected to others. It's as if these gentle emotions help us to gather resources, social, psychological, and even physical, that will serve us well in the future. They are the quiet hum of well-being, powered by the intricate dance of neurochemicals in our brains, the gentle release of dopamine bringing a sense of reward and pleasure, serotonin regulating our mood with its calming touch, and oxytocin weaving threads of connection and trust. These tiny, invisible messengers orchestrate our inner symphony of delight, making the world feel a little brighter, a little softer. But just as a garden has both blossoms and shadows, our emotional landscape also contains the third component of subjective well-being: negative affect. This refers to the frequency and intensity of unpleasant emotions, such as sadness, anger, fear, anxiety, or stress. Now, it's crucial to understand that these emotions are not inherently bad. In the grand tapestry of human experience, they serve vital purposes. Fear, for instance, is a wise guardian, alerting us to danger. Sadness can be a profound invitation for introspection, and a quiet plea for connection and support. Even anger, when understood and managed, can signal that a boundary has been crossed, prompting us to take action. Imagine a cloudy day or a gentle rain shower. These, too, are part of nature's cycle. They nourish the earth and clear the air. Similarly, negative emotions, in moderation, can offer important lessons and guide us toward growth. The challenge arises when these clouds become a perpetual storm, when negative affect dominates our emotional sky, lingering too long or appearing too frequently. This can overshadow our capacity for joy and contentment. Scientific studies have shown that while it's unrealistic and even unhealthy to try to eliminate negative emotions entirely, a lower frequency and intensity of them contribute significantly to our overall subjective well-being. It's about finding a gentle balance, acknowledging the shadows without letting them consume the light. It's about learning to navigate the storms, knowing they too will eventually pass, revealing the clear sky once more. It's truly fascinating to note that positive and negative effects aren't simply opposite ends of a single seesaw. You might imagine that if you have more positive feelings, you must automatically have fewer negative ones. But research actually suggests they are somewhat independent. It's possible to experience moments of joy even amidst sorrow, or to feel a quiet anxiety even when life seems generally good. High subjective well-being isn't just about having lots of sunny days, it's about having many sunny days and fewer stormy ones, all while maintaining that peaceful, overarching sense of life satisfaction. Our personal levels of these three components are influenced by a complex interplay of factors, like interwoven threads in a beautiful quilt. A significant portion, perhaps around 50%, is gently guided by our genetics, our natural predispositions, a kind of baseline set point for our happiness, much like how some plants naturally thrive in certain climates. Another smaller portion, maybe 10%, is shaped by our life circumstances, the external events and situations that unfold around us, like the changing seasons. But here's the truly hopeful part, the part that truly empowers us. A substantial portion, around 40%, is influenced by our intentional activities, the choices we make, the thoughts we cultivate, the actions we take each day. These are the seeds we choose to plant, the gardens we decide to tend, the quiet efforts we make to nurture our inner world. So, as we reflect on these three pillars, the cognitive evaluation of our life satisfaction, the vibrant presence of positive affect, and the gentle management of our negative affect, we begin to see that happiness isn't a destination, but a harmonious journey, a continuous dance between our thoughts, our feelings, and our intentional choices. Understanding these components helps us to appreciate the subtle architecture of our well-being, inviting us to gently explore how we might nurture each aspect, much like a gardener tends to different plants in a diverse and thriving landscape. And with this understanding now resting softly in our minds, we might wonder, what kinds of choices lead to which kinds of happiness? Are all joys created equal? This question invites us to drift a little deeper into the intriguing landscape of happiness. We've spoken of its many forms, but perhaps the most profound distinction we can make lies between two very different yet equally luminous paths to well-being, the hedonic and the eudaimonic. Imagine them as two distinct types of light guiding our way through life. One, a dazzling burst of fireworks, brilliant and thrilling. The other, a steady, warm lantern, casting a consistent glow over a long journey. Let's first explore the path of the fireworks, the hedonic life. This is the pursuit of pleasure, of comfort, of the immediate delightful sensation that makes us smile, laugh, or sigh in contentment. Think of the warmth of a freshly baked cookie melting in your mouth, the soft embrace of a favorite blanket on a chilly evening, or the exhilarating rush of a sudden surprise party. These are moments designed to maximize pleasure and minimize pain, to fill our sensory world with agreeable stimuli. From a scientific perspective, when we experience these moments, a wonderful cascade of activity lights up specific regions in our brain. The intricate reward pathways, areas like the T nucleus accumbens and the ventral tegmental area, deep within our brains, become wonderfully active. They respond to signals, often carried by the neurotransmitter dopamine, which acts like a tiny spark, creating a sense of wanting or seeking that delicious cookie or liking the warmth of that blanket. This system is ancient, wired into our very being, guiding us towards things that are good for our survival: food, warmth, safety, and away from discomfort. It's a primal yet exquisite dance of neurochemicals designed to make us feel good, right here, right now. But just like fireworks, these bursts of hedonic joy, though magnificent, are often fleeting. The initial thrill of a new toy, a delicious meal, or a fantastic movie can fade over time. Our brains are incredibly adaptive, and what once brought a powerful surge of pleasure can, with repetition, become less impactful. This phenomenon, often called the hedonic treadmill, describes how we constantly adjust our expectations, needing new or more intense stimuli to achieve the same level of pleasure. It's a delightful, essential part of our human experience, adding sparkle and immediate gratification to our days. It's the gentle lapping of waves on a sunny beach, the sweet taste of a ripe strawberry, or the comforting purr of a beloved pet. These are invaluable moments that color our lives with vibrant, immediate hues. Now, let us turn our gaze from the dazzling fireworks to the steady, enduring glow of the lantern, illuminating the eudaimonic path. This form of happiness is not merely about feeling good, but about being good, in the sense of living a life of meaning, purpose, and authentic flourishing. It's rooted in ancient Greek philosophy, where eudaimonia literally means good spirit or human flourishing. Imagine a sturdy oak tree, deeply rooted in the earth, reaching its branches towards the sky, not just for fleeting sunshine, but for enduring growth. The eudaimonic life is about building those deep roots, about nurturing our potential and contributing to something larger than ourselves. It's found not just in immediate satisfaction, but in the sustained effort of pursuing goals that align with our deepest values. Think of the quiet satisfaction of mastering a new skill after months of dedicated practice, the profound connection forged in a meaningful relationship, the sense of purpose found in helping others, or the inner peace derived from living true to your authentic self. This deeper form of well-being engages different, though sometimes overlapping, neural pathways in the brain. Areas such as the medial prefrontal cortex, involved in self-reflection and understanding our own values, and the anterior cingulate cortex, crucial for decision-making aligned with our long-term goals and empathy, play significant roles. Here, neurotransmitters like serotonin, often associated with feelings of stability and well-being, and oxytocin, the love hormone that fosters social bonding and trust, come to the forefront, creating a sense of deep connectedness and inner harmony. Researchers like Carol Riff have extensively explored what constitutes this psychological well-being, identifying key dimensions that resonate with the eudaimonic ideal: self-acceptance, personal growth, a sense of purpose in life, environmental mastery, autonomy, and positive relations with others. It's not just about what we get from life, but what we give to it and how we grow in the process. This sustained engagement with life's challenges and opportunities, guided by our core values, offers a more robust and enduring form of happiness. In fact, studies have shown that individuals who report higher levels of eudaimonic well-being often exhibit healthier physiological profiles, including lower levels of inflammation markers and more robust immune function, markers of a body and mind in greater harmony, less burdened by the chronic stress that can sometimes accompany the frantic chase for fleeting pleasures. So, while the hedonic experience is like a beautiful, sparkling bubble, delightful in its moment, the eudaimonic life is more akin to a deep, clear river, flowing steadily, enriching the landscape it passes through, and providing a constant source of refreshment. Both are vital to a rich and full life. We need the immediate joys, the bursts of hedonic delight, to color our days and motivate us. But it is the quiet, purposeful flow of eudaimonia that truly builds a foundation for lasting contentment, resilience, and a profound sense of meaning. It's in the balance, the beautiful interplay of these two lights, that we truly discover the vastness of human happiness. As we consider these two paths, we begin to sense that neither journey is meant to be traveled alone. Both the sparkling moment and the meaningful life are enriched by something essential. And so, as we gently drift through the landscape of happiness, we arrive at a most tender and profound terrain, the quiet strength of our connections to one another, and how these invisible threads weave the very fabric of our flourishing. Imagine, if you will, a vast and ancient forest. Each tree, unique and magnificent in its own right, doesn't stand entirely alone. Beneath the surface, its roots intertwine with countless others, sharing nutrients, sending subtle chemical signals, creating an intricate living network. This subterranean symphony of support allows the entire forest to thrive, to weather storms, and to grow taller, stronger, more resilient. In many ways, we, as human beings, are very much like these trees. Now, our journey through life is rarely a solitary one, nor is it meant to be. From the very first breath, we are wired for connection. It's an ancient impulse, etched deep within our DNA, a survival strategy honed over millennia. Our earliest ancestors understood, perhaps instinctively, that a lone individual was vulnerable, while a community offered shelter, safety, and shared warmth against the vast wilderness. This fundamental need for belonging hasn't faded with time. It continues to echo within us, a gentle whisper reminding us of our shared humanity. Science, in its quiet way, has begun to illuminate the intricate biological dance that unfolds when we connect with others. Picture, for a moment, the soft glow of a hormone called oxytocin. It's often referred to as the love hormone or the cuddle chemical, and for good reason. When we share a warm embrace, a trusting glance, a moment of profound empathy, oxytocin floods our system. It's like a warm, soothing balm, calming our nervous system, reducing levels of stress hormones like cortisol, and fostering feelings of trust and contentment. This gentle chemical current strengthens bonds, encourages generosity, and helps us feel safer and more connected to those around us. It's the invisible glue that makes us feel seen, understood, and cherished, transforming mere acquaintance into deep companionship. But the magic of connection doesn't stop there. Consider the remarkable vagus nerve, a long, wandering neural pathway that serves as a vital bridge between our brain and many of our organs. It's like a soft internal conductor, orchestrating our physiological responses to the world around us. When we feel safe and connected, when we're sharing a laugh with a loved one or listening attentively to a friend, our vagus nerve becomes more active, promoting what scientists call parasympathetic activity. This is our body's rest and digest mode, a state of gentle calm where our heart rate slows, our breathing deepens, and our digestive system works efficiently. It's the opposite of the fight or flight response, ensuring that true social connection is not just emotionally enriching, but physiologically restorative, helping us to regulate our emotions and find a peaceful equilibrium. Think of it as the gentle hum of a well-tuned instrument. When our social connections are harmonious, our internal orchestra plays a softer, more melodious tune, leading to a profound sense of well-being. This intrinsic soothing power of connection is why a comforting presence can often quiet our anxieties more effectively than any solitary effort. Furthermore, our brains are equipped with incredible mirror neurons. These fascinating cells fire not only when we perform an action ourselves, but also when we observe someone else performing that same action. They're at the heart of empathy, allowing us to feel what another person is experiencing. A laugh, a tear, a shared moment of surprise. This biological mirroring helps us to truly understand and resonate with others, building bridges of understanding even without words. It's the silent language of shared humanity, allowing us to step into another's shoes and experience a fragment of their world, solidifying our bond. It's no wonder then that social connection is such a powerful predictor of happiness and overall flourishing. Scientific studies have shown, time and again, that individuals with strong, supportive social networks tend to live longer, healthier lives. They report higher levels of happiness, greater resilience in the face of adversity, and even a reduced risk of cognitive decline in later life. Their sense of belonging acts as a protective shield, buffering the harsh impacts of stress and loneliness. Indeed, the converse is equally illuminating. Loneliness, that quiet ache of isolation, has been identified as a significant public health concern. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness can be as detrimental to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day or obesity. It's associated with increased inflammation throughout the body, higher blood pressure, impaired immune function, and an elevated risk of heart disease and stroke. It's as if, without those nourishing social roots, the tree struggles to draw strength and vital energy, leaving it vulnerable to the elements. But it's not simply about the quantity of connections. It's the quality that truly nurtures our souls. A handful of deep, meaningful relationships built on trust, mutual respect, and shared vulnerability often provides far more nourishment than a wide circle of superficial acquaintances. These are the people with whom we can be our authentic selves, where we feel truly seen and accepted, flaws and all. They are the sturdy branches that offer shade and support, allowing us to reach for the sun with confidence. And the beauty of social flourishing extends beyond merely receiving support. It also encompasses the profound joy of giving, engaging in pro-social behavior, acts of kindness, helping others, volunteering our time, has been consistently linked to increased happiness and well-being in the giver. When we extend a helping hand, offer a comforting word, or simply share a genuine smile, our brains release feel-good neurotransmitters like dopamine, reinforcing the positive feedback loop of connection and generosity. It's a gentle reminder that our happiness is not an isolated phenomenon, but often thrives in the generous ecosystem of our shared lives. So, as we reflect on this precious aspect of our existence, let us appreciate the intricate dance of human connection, understanding that to truly flourish, we need each other. We are designed for warmth, for empathy, for shared laughter and tears, for the gentle embrace of community. These social bonds are not just a pleasant addition to life, they are a fundamental nutrient, essential for our deepest happiness and our most vibrant flourishing. And with this tender understanding of our intertwined lives, let us prepare to explore yet another facet of happiness, the deeper currents that give our connections and our lives their true significance. While social bonds provide warmth and support, there's something else that anchors us, something that runs even deeper. Imagine, if you will, a vast ancient forest. We've explored the dancing leaves, the sunlight dappling through branches, the fleeting butterflies of pleasure. But now, let's descend to the very roots, to the sturdy trunks and the silent earth that nourishes everything above. Here we encounter something profound, something that doesn't just flicker, but glows with a steady inner light, the feeling of meaning, purpose, and engagement in our lives. Think of meaning and purpose not as grand pronouncements shouted from mountaintops, but as an inner compass, a gentle star guiding your quiet journey through the night. It's the sense that your life, in its own unique way, matters. It's the feeling of belonging to something larger than yourself, of contributing a tiny, vital thread to the magnificent tapestry of existence. This isn't about chasing fleeting highs, it's about building a sturdy, comfortable home for your spirit within the grand architecture of the world. Scientists, in their gentle probing of the human experience, have long distinguished between two kinds of happiness. There's hedonic happiness, which is like a warm, comforting blanket, the immediate pleasure of a delicious meal, a funny movie, or a gentle lullaby. But then there's eudaimonic happiness. This ancient Greek word meaning human flourishing speaks to something far more profound. It's the quiet satisfaction of living a life true to your deepest values, of realizing your potential, of growing and contributing. It's the deep sigh of contentment at the end of a day spent on something truly significant to you, even if it was challenging. Researchers like Carol Riff have highlighted purpose in life as one of the key dimensions of this psychological well-being, a foundational pillar upon which a truly fulfilling life is built. When we have a sense of purpose, it's as if our inner landscape becomes more resilient. Think of a strong, ancient tree with deep roots. It can weather many storms. Studies have shown that individuals with a robust sense of purpose tend to experience lower levels of inflammation, better sleep, and even a reduced risk of conditions like Alzheimer's disease. It's as if having a why provides a protective balm for our very cells, Our brains, those intricate wonders, seem to thrive on it. When we are engaged in purposeful activity, our medial prefrontal cortex, a region involved in self-reflection and value-based decision-making, shows increased activity. It's as if our brain is gently whispering, "Yes, this matters. Keep going." And the neurotransmitter dopamine, often associated with pleasure, here plays a different role. It's not just about the reward itself, but the motivation to pursue meaningful goals, guiding us forward with a gentle, encouraging nudge. This gentle guidance, this inner compass of purpose, often naturally leads us to the next profound contributor to happiness: engagement. Imagine that river again, flowing peacefully. Purpose is the riverbed, giving it direction. Engagement is the movement of the water itself, the swirling eddies, the gentle ripples, the steady flow. It's about being truly, deeply immersed in an activity, so much so that the world outside seems to fade away, and time itself loses its insistent rhythm. This profound state of absorption is what the psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called flow. He described it as an optimal experience where a person is fully involved in an activity for its own sake. It's when your skills are perfectly matched to a challenge that is just right. Not too easy to be boring, and not so hard as to be frustrating. Think of a musician lost in a melody, their fingers dancing across the keys, unaware of anything but the unfolding music. Or a writer so engrossed in their story that hours pass like minutes. Or perhaps a gardener, gently tending to their plants, feeling the soil, watching new life emerge, utterly present in the moment. In these moments of flow, something remarkable happens within us. Our attention narrows, our focus intensifies, and our self-consciousness seems to melt away. We become one with the task. This isn't just a mental state. It has observable effects on our brain. The neural pathways associated with sustained attention and executive functions in the prefrontal cortex become highly active, reinforcing the connections that allow us to concentrate deeply. It's like a quiet hum of efficiency and joy in the brain working in perfect harmony. And crucially, this engagement is often driven by intrinsic motivation. Doing something because you love it, because it feels right, because it satisfies an inner longing, rather than for external rewards or recognition. So, meaning and purpose provide the deep, nourishing soil and the guiding light. Engagement is the steady growth, the gentle unfolding, the quiet work of living and creating within that light. Together, they weave a tapestry of happiness that is rich, durable, and profoundly satisfying. It's not a loud, boisterous happiness, but a deep, resonant peace that settles in the heart and mind, allowing us to feel truly alive and connected. As we begin to drift a little further, letting these thoughts settle softly, we'll gently turn our attention to yet another facet of this beautiful, intricate gem that is happiness. And so, as the day gently recedes, like the tide withdrawing from the shore, we find ourselves in this quiet space, reflecting not just on what happened, but on how we felt about it. Tonight, let's explore three profound inner architects of our well-being: our mindset, the subtle power of gratitude, and the enduring strength of resilience. Imagine, if you will, that your mind is like a vast, beautiful garden. Every thought, every belief is a seed planted within it. Now, some gardens are tended with a belief that the soil is fixed, unchangeable, and that only certain flowers can ever bloom. This is akin to what scientists sometimes call a fixed mindset. It's the quiet whisper that says, "I am just how I am," or "I'm not good at that," believing our talents and intelligence are static, carved in stone. When faced with a challenge, a fixed mindset might lead us to retreat, fearing failure as a judgment on our inherent ability. But then, there's another way to tend this garden. This is the growth mindset, a belief that the soil is rich, adaptable, and that with care, effort, and nourishment, new blossoms can always emerge. It's the understanding that our abilities aren't finite, but rather, like muscles, they grow stronger with effort and practice. This isn't just a comforting thought. It's a profound scientific truth. Our brains possess an extraordinary quality called neuroplasticity. This means that your brain isn't a static, unchanging organ. Instead, it's constantly rewiring itself, forming new connections, and strengthening existing ones based on your experiences, your learning, and crucially, your beliefs. When you embrace a growth mindset, you are quite literally encouraging your brain to forge new neural pathways, to adapt and to expand its capacity. Think of it as creating new, vibrant paths through your garden, leading to previously unexplored, beautiful corners. When you face a puzzle or a new skill, and you believe you can improve, even if it's hard, your brain is more likely to activate its learning centers, to persist, and to find solutions. This flexible thinking, this willingness to learn from setbacks rather than being defined by them, is a cornerstone of deep, abiding happiness. Now let's turn our gaze to a practice that seems simple, yet holds immense power: gratitude. Imagine gratitude as a gentle, internal spotlight that you can choose to shine. In the vastness of your day, filled with countless events, this spotlight helps you illuminate the good, the kind, the beautiful, no matter how small. It might be the warmth of your favorite blanket, the comfort of a good book, or the quiet presence of a loved one. When you consciously practice gratitude, something remarkable happens within your brain and body. Scientists have observed that engaging in grateful thinking activates specific regions of your brain, particularly the medial prefrontal cortex, which is involved in processing morality, empathy, and value judgments. But it goes deeper. The very act of acknowledging what you're thankful for can stimulate the release of feel-good neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine, often associated with pleasure and reward, gives you that subtle lift, that sense of contentment. Serotonin, a key regulator of mood, sleep, and appetite, contributes to overall feelings of well-being. It's like your internal pharmacy, dispensing its most soothing compounds. Beyond these immediate sensations, gratitude is also a powerful antagonist to stress. Studies have shown that a regular gratitude practice can actually reduce levels of cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Think of cortisol as a signal of alarm. Gratitude helps to quiet that alarm, allowing your body to settle into a state of rest and repair. This isn't just about feeling better in the moment. lower cortisol levels contribute to improved sleep quality, a stronger immune system, and even a healthier heart over time. Furthermore, gratitude fosters stronger social bonds by encouraging empathy and kindness. When you appreciate others, you strengthen the neural networks associated with social connection, making you feel more connected to the world around you. It's like tending to the soil of your emotional garden, enriching it so that more beautiful relationships can grow and flourish. Yet, life, like any journey, is bound to have its gentle hills and its unexpected storms. And this brings us to our third profound inner strength: resilience. Resilience isn't about never falling down. It's about how gracefully you rise, how readily you adapt, and how deeply you recover. Imagine a magnificent, ancient tree standing tall against the wind. It doesn't resist the storm with rigid defiance. Instead, its branches sway, its trunk flexes, and its deep roots hold it firm. It absorbs the force, bends with it, and when the storm passes, it straightens, perhaps even stronger for having weathered the gale. Scientifically, resilience is multifaceted. It involves a sophisticated interplay of brain regions, particularly the prefrontal cortex, which helps us regulate emotions, plan, and make decisions even under duress. When faced with a challenge, a resilient mind doesn't get stuck in a loop of fear or despair. Instead, it activates its problem-solving abilities, drawing on past experiences and future possibilities. It's about developing adaptive coping mechanisms, strategies to manage stress and navigate difficulty effectively. This could mean seeking support from others, engaging in mindfulness, finding constructive ways to express emotions, or learning from difficult situations. The very act of successfully navigating stress, even minor stressors, can, over time, build what scientists call stress inoculation, making you better equipped to handle larger challenges down the line. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Furthermore, social connection plays an absolutely vital role in building resilience. Just as the roots of a forest intertwine beneath the earth, sharing nutrients and stability, our human connections provide an essential support system. Knowing you are not alone, having trusted individuals to share your burdens or celebrate your small victories strengthens your capacity to bounce back from adversity. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, which is released during social bonding, helps to soothe the stress response and promote feelings of trust and well-being, further bolstering our resilience. So, you see how these three are intricately woven together. A growth mindset lays the groundwork, enabling you to learn and adapt. Gratitude illuminates the path with hope and positivity, nourishing your spirit. And resilience is the sturdy, flexible trunk that allows you to weather any storm, emerging stronger and more deeply rooted. Together, they form a powerful internal compass, guiding you towards a life rich in meaning and inner peace. As these thoughts settle in your mind, like motes of dust dancing in a beam of moonlight, perhaps you can feel a gentle shift within you, a quiet strengthening. These aren't just abstract ideas. They are pathways you can choose to walk, skills you can choose to cultivate. And with each step, with each conscious choice to nurture your mindset, embrace gratitude, and build resilience, you are not only shaping your present moments, but also gently preparing the soil for the happiness that will blossom tomorrow. Yet, even as we cultivate these inner capacities, we might wonder, what shapes our starting point? Why do some of us seem naturally more resilient, while others must work harder to find that inner calm? This question brings us to a truly fascinating intersection: the delicate dance between what we're born with and what life brings our way. Tonight, we'll explore how your very own genetic blueprint and the world around you conspire to shape your capacity for joy. Imagine, if you will, that each of us is born with a unique melody, a sort of internal hum that resonates within us. This isn't a fixed, unchanging tune, but rather a starting point, a baseline for our emotional symphony. Scientists often refer to this as our happiness set point, a genetically influenced predisposition for a certain level of well-being. It's like an internal thermostat, calibrated from birth, that tends to bring us back to a particular emotional temperature, even after significant life events, both good and bad. How do we know this melody exists, you ask? The most compelling evidence emerges from the quiet, powerful stories of identical twins. These individuals, sharing nearly 100% of their DNA, offer a unique window into the genetic tapestry of our lives. Studies have shown that identical twins, even those raised apart in vastly different environments, tend to report remarkably similar levels of happiness throughout their lives. Their scores on measures of well-being often correlate more strongly with each other than with those of fraternal twins, who share only about half their genes, or with adoptive siblings, who share no more genes than strangers, but grow up in the same home. This suggests that a significant portion, estimates vary, but often fall around 40 to 50%, of our individual differences in happiness can be attributed to our genes. What kind of genes are we talking about? It's not a single happiness gene, but rather a symphony of genetic variations working in concert, each playing a subtle role in our emotional regulation. Consider, for instance, the serotonin transporter gene, often referred to by its scientific moniker 5-HTTLPR. Serotonin, as you might recall, is a neurotransmitter intimately involved in mood regulation. Variations in this gene can influence how efficiently serotonin is reabsorbed in the brain, impacting its availability. Individuals with a particular variant, often called the short allele, may be more sensitive to stress and more prone to anxiety or depression in challenging environments. It's like having a finely tuned instrument that might resonate more intensely with dissonant notes. Conversely, those with the long allele might possess a more robust buffer against life's harsher melodies, making them somewhat more resilient. Then there are genes involved in dopamine pathways, such as the DRD4 dopamine receptor gene. Dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, fuels our motivation, our pursuit of pleasure, and our experience of joy. Certain variations in DRD4 have been linked to novelty-seeking behaviors and a greater responsiveness to rewards. It's as if some individuals are born with a slightly more excitable internal reward system, making them more keenly attuned to potential sources of delight and novelty in the world. Even genes related to social bonding, like the oxytocin receptor gene, OXTR, play a part, subtly influencing our capacity for empathy, trust, and connection, all profound ingredients in the recipe for happiness. And we mustn't forget the COMT gene, which helps regulate dopamine and norepinephrine in the prefrontal cortex, impacting our cognitive control and how we process stress, another quiet contributor to our emotional resilience. But now, let's turn our gaze outward, beyond the intricate strands of DNA, to the vast, swirling ocean of our experiences, the environmental influences that shape our internal landscape. If genes provide the initial melody, then our environment is the orchestral arrangement, the conductor, and even the audience, all influencing how that melody is played and perceived. From the very first breath we take, our surroundings begin to sculpt us. Think of a tiny seed. Its genetic code dictates its potential, perhaps to be a towering oak or a delicate fern. But whether that potential is fully realized depends entirely on the soil it grows in, the sunlight it receives, the water that nourishes it, and the storms it endures. So too with us. Our early childhood experiences, the warmth and responsiveness of our caregivers, the safety and security of our homes, these are the fertile grounds for our emotional development. A nurturing environment, rich in love and support, can foster secure attachment, which is a powerful predictor of well-being and resilience throughout life. It lays down neural pathways in areas of the brain crucial for emotional regulation, like the prefrontal cortex, helping us develop coping strategies and a positive outlook. As we grow, the symphony of environmental influences only expands. Our social connections, the friendships we forge, the family bonds we cherish, the communities we belong to, are profoundly impactful. Humans are inherently social creatures, and strong, supportive relationships act as both a buffer against stress and a consistent source of joy. The culture we live in, its values, its definition of success and happiness also subtly guides our internal compass. A culture that prioritizes materialism might lead us down a different path than one that emphasizes community or spiritual fulfillment. Socioeconomic factors, access to education, nutritious food, healthcare, and safe spaces to live and work also profoundly shape our opportunities and challenges, and thus our baseline of comfort and potential for joy. Consider even the seemingly simple choices we make daily: the food we eat, the amount of sleep we get, whether we engage in physical activity or practice mindfulness. These are environmental inputs that directly impact our brain chemistry and our emotional state. Chronic stress, poor nutrition, lack of sleep, these can disrupt our neurochemical balance, even for those with a genetically cheerful disposition. Conversely, practices like gratitude journaling, spending time in nature, or engaging in acts of kindness can actively enhance our sense of well-being, often by influencing the release of beneficial neurotransmitters. Our brains are incredibly plastic, capable of being reshaped by experience, a concept known as neuroplasticity. This means that consistent positive inputs from our environment, whether external or self-generated, can literally rewire our brains to be more prone to happiness. But here's where the true magic happens, the point where nature and nurture cease to be separate entities and begin to dance together in an intricate ballet. Their interaction. It's not a simple case of either or, but a profound both and. Our genes don't act in a vacuum. They interact dynamically with our environment, and our environment can, in turn, influence how our genes are expressed. This is the fascinating realm of epigenetics, a concept that allows us to see how our experiences can leave their mark on our genetic machinery without altering the underlying DNA sequence itself. Imagine your DNA as a vast, ancient book of instructions. Epigenetic modifications are like sticky notes or highlights added to the pages, telling your cells which instructions to read loudly, which to whisper, and which to skip entirely. Early life trauma, for example, can lead to epigenetic changes that alter the activity of genes involved in stress response, making an individual more prone to anxiety and depression later in life. Conversely, environments rich in love, learning, and proper nutrition can promote beneficial epigenetic changes, fostering greater resilience and well-being. This means that while you inherit your genetic book, the story within can be reinterpreted and edited by life's experiences. Another powerful illustration of gene-environment interaction is known as the orchid and dandelion hypothesis. Some individuals, like dandelions, are genetically robust and tend to thrive in almost any environment, resilient to adversity. Others, like delicate orchids, are more genetically sensitive. In harsh, neglectful environments, these orchid individuals might wilt, becoming highly susceptible to negative outcomes. But in supportive, enriching environments, these very same orchids can blossom magnificently, often achieving higher levels of creativity, empathy, and well-being than their dandelion peers. Their heightened sensitivity makes them more vulnerable to negativity, but also profoundly more responsive to positivity. Understanding whether you or those you care about lean more towards being an orchid or a dandelion can help tailor environments to maximize flourishing. So, as you can see, the capacity for happiness isn't a fixed destination, determined solely by the lottery of birth. While our genes provide a significant starting point, an inherited tendency, they do not dictate our entire journey. Our environment, from the earliest moments of life to the choices we make today, acts as a powerful sculptor, shaping the expression of our genetic potential. And crucially, our agency, our ability to choose, to learn, to grow, to connect, plays a pivotal role in this ongoing co-creation of our well-being. We are not merely passive recipients of our genetic inheritance or environmental circumstances. We are active participants in writing our own story of happiness. As the moonlight streams softly through your window now, consider this profound interplay. It reminds us that while we are indeed products of nature and nurture, we also possess an incredible capacity to cultivate environments internally and externally that allow our unique melody of happiness to play more richly, more harmoniously. Yet this melody doesn't play in isolation. It resonates differently across the vast tapestry of human cultures. Just as that melody resonates differently depending on the instrument that plays it, contentment takes on remarkably different forms across different lands. Tonight, as the world outside softens into twilight, we'll gently journey through the fascinating landscapes of human happiness, observing how this tender feeling, this sense of well-being, takes on varied hues and forms across our planet's diverse cultures. Think of our world as an enormous, intricate garden, where each culture cultivates its own unique varieties of blooms. In some gardens, often those found in Western, more individualistic societies, the most prized flowers are those that stand tall and vibrant on their own, celebrated for their unique beauty and singular splendor. Here, contentment often blossoms from personal achievement, from the satisfaction of individual goals met, from a strong sense of self-esteem, and the freedom to pursue one's own unique dreams. Researchers observe that in cultures where the individual journey is highly prized, such as in the United States or many Western European nations, personal satisfaction often stems from accomplishments unique to oneself, and the feeling of authentic self-expression. It's about my journey, my success, my joy, a beautiful bright spotlight shining on the individual spirit. Now let's drift to a different kind of garden. Perhaps an ancient, harmonious Zen garden, or a bustling communal allotment where every plant plays a role in the health of the whole. In many collectivistic cultures, common in East Asia, Latin America, or parts of Africa, contentment often blooms not just from the individual, but from the deep roots of social harmony, from fulfilling one's place within the community, and from the collective well-being of the group, be it family, village, or nation. Here, happiness is often described in terms of interdependent happiness, a joy that resonates from the connections, the shared experiences, and the prosperity of one's entire social network. Studies show that for these societies, the feeling of belonging, of contributing to a greater whole, and maintaining smooth, respectful relationships are powerful architects of inner peace. It's like a finely woven tapestry, where the strength and beauty come from the intricate interplay of countless threads, each supporting and enhancing the others. Beyond where contentment is found, cultures also vary in the flavor of happiness they tend to seek. Imagine a symphony where the brass section shines, where crescendos build to thrilling peaks, where the music sweeps you into exhilarating moments of elation and excitement. This desire to feel up, to experience what psychologists call high arousal positive emotions, HAPA, like excitement, euphoria, and enthusiasm, is often deeply woven into the fabric of many Western individualistic societies. From vibrant celebrations to the pursuit of thrilling personal adventures, there's a cultural inclination towards a dynamic, energetic form of happiness. It's about feeling the rush, the surge of intense positive feeling. Now, turn your ear to a different kind of music, perhaps a gentle melody played on a koto or a soothing lullaby that softly fills a quiet room. Here, the beauty lies not in grand peaks, but in the quiet harmony, the subtle nuances, the profound sense of peace. In many East Asian cultures, the ideal affect often gravitates towards low arousal positive emotions, ALAPA, such as calm, peacefulness, serenity, and a gentle contentment that hums rather than roars. Researchers like Jean Tsai and her colleagues have extensively explored this, finding that this preference influences daily life, from the kinds of media consumed to the way children are soothed. This isn't about lacking joy, but about finding it in tranquility, in the quiet balance of everyday life, where a serene smile might hold more depth than an exuberant laugh. And what about those darker hues on the emotional palette? Sadness, disappointment, worry. Here too, cultural lenses shape our view. Western psychological models have often encouraged the pursuit of positive emotions and the minimization or fixing of negative ones. Happiness is sometimes seen as the absence of sadness, a bright space where shadows are banished. But in many East Asian philosophies, influenced by traditions like Taoism or Buddhism, there's often a more dialectical view of emotions. They perceive positive and negative emotions not as strict opposites, but as interconnected, even coexisting, and essential parts of life's intricate tapestry. Imagine the ancient symbol of yin and yang, where light and shadow dance together, each containing a speck of the other. One can be content with the presence of sadness, understanding it not as an enemy to be conquered, but as a transient, natural part of the human experience that might even offer depth, empathy, or a path to greater wisdom. This interconnectedness extends deeply into how some cultures define a good life. In societies where relational harmony is paramount, the strength and quality of one's social bonds are not just sources of happiness, but often constitute happiness itself. The joy found in a shared meal with family, the solidarity felt during community celebrations, the quiet satisfaction of knowing you've supported a friend, these are not merely pleasant experiences, but the very essence of well-being. It's a happiness that isn't owned, but shared, reflected back to us from the eyes of those we care about. And even our language, the very words we use, reflect these nuances. While many languages have words for happiness, the depth and breadth of their meaning can vary. The Japanese concept of ikigai, for instance, speaks to a sense of purpose and meaning, a reason for being, which contributes deeply to contentment, far beyond a simple feeling of elation. The German Gelassenheit speaks to a calm composure, a serene acceptance in the face of life's challenges. These aren't direct translations of happiness, but rather profound states of well-being highly valued in their respective cultures, each a unique lens focusing on different aspects of the vast spectrum of human flourishing. As we observe these beautiful variations, we realize there is no single right way to be content. Each culture, like a skilled musician, plays its own unique rhythm and melody of well-being, offering a testament to the boundless adaptability and rich diversity of the human spirit. Yet, beneath all these cultural variations, beneath the conscious choices we make and the values we hold, there are deeper currents at work. Silent forces that shape our well-being without our awareness. These are the unconscious drivers of happiness. Secrets whispered not by our conscious thoughts, but by the quiet hum of our very being. We often believe happiness is something we chase, something we strive for with deliberate effort, like reaching for a star in the night sky. But what if I told you that beneath the surface of our awareness, an intricate network of silent architects is constantly at work, tending to the garden of our well-being? Think of your conscious mind as the captain of a magnificent ship navigating the vast ocean of life. You issue commands, chart courses, make decisions, but beneath the deck, in the silent depths of the hull, there are countless systems running, engines humming, and currents flowing that keep the vessel afloat, stable, and moving forward, often without your direct attention. These are the unconscious drivers of our well-being, the hidden forces that shape our mood, our resilience, and our capacity for joy, even as we slumber or go about our day. They are the unseen roots that anchor our happiness. One of the most profound of these silent architects is, perhaps surprisingly, sleep. We know we need it, of course, for rest. But sleep is far more than mere inactivity. It's a powerhouse of renewal, a nocturnal symphony conducted by our brain. While we drift through dreams, our brain isn't just recharging, it's actively engaging in critical maintenance and emotional regulation. During the deep, slow-wave stages of non-REM sleep, our brain acts like a meticulous librarian, consolidating memories, filing away important information from the day, and discarding what's no longer needed. This process isn't just for learning. It helps us make sense of our experiences, preparing us to face tomorrow with a clearer perspective. Then, in the vibrant landscape of REM sleep, our brain steps into its role as an emotional alchemist. It processes feelings, often toning down the intensity of traumatic or stressful memories, effectively taking the emotional sting out of yesterday's troubles. Imagine a skilled weaver mending frayed threads, creating a stronger, more resilient tapestry of your emotional life. Without this nightly mending, studies show our emotional reactivity can be heightened, our resilience diminished, and our capacity for positive emotions muted. The delicate balance of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, crucial for mood regulation, is deeply influenced by the quality and quantity of our sleep. So, as you rest, remember that a silent, dedicated team is diligently working to restore not just your body, but the very foundation of your emotional equilibrium, shaping your well-being in ways you won't consciously notice until the gentle dawn breaks. Then there is the ancient whisper of the natural world, a driver of well-being so fundamental it's embedded deep within our biological blueprint. Have you ever noticed how a walk through a forest seems to quiet the restless chatter of your mind, or how the sight of rolling hills brings a gentle sense of peace? This isn't merely a pleasant coincidence, it's a profound connection. Scientists call it the biophilia hypothesis, suggesting an innate human tendency to connect with nature and other living systems. Our ancestors evolved amidst trees and rivers under open skies. Our bodies and minds are still tuned to these natural rhythms, even as we navigate concrete jungles. Research shows that even brief exposure to natural environments, often referred to as forest bathing or shinrin-yoku in Japan, can significantly reduce levels of cortisol, our primary stress hormone. It can lower blood pressure, improve immune function, and even increase activity in brain regions associated with empathy and emotional stability. The intricate fractal patterns found in everything from snowflakes to coastlines, subtly perceived by our unconscious minds, are known to reduce physiological stress by promoting a sense of ease and familiarity. Even the soft rustle of leaves or the gentle babble of a brook can trigger a relaxation response, subtly shifting brainwave activity towards a more calm and meditative alpha state. Nature doesn't demand anything from us. It simply offers itself as a balm, an ancient lullaby that reminds our unconscious mind of a fundamental safety and belonging that is deeply conducive to well-being. Now let's venture into an even more surprising realm, the bustling metropolis within your own body, your gut. For centuries, poets and philosophers have spoken of gut feelings, but only recently has science begun to unravel the incredible truth behind this intuition. Far from being just a digestive organ, your gut is home to trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and viruses, collectively known as the gut microbiome. This intricate inner garden is in constant, silent conversation with your brain through what's called the gut-brain axis. This communication highway is bidirectional, primarily facilitated by the vagus nerve, a superhighway of nerves stretching from your brainstem to your abdomen. What's astonishing is that a significant portion of the body's neurotransmitters, including about 95% of serotonin, often called the happiness hormone, and a substantial amount of dopamine, are produced or influenced by these tiny inhabitants of your gut. A diverse and healthy microbiome is like a well-tended garden, capable of producing compounds that positively influence your mood, reduce inflammation, and even impact your cognitive function. Conversely, an imbalance, a weedy garden, can send distress signals to the brain, contributing to anxiety, stress, and a diminished sense of well-being. So, as you eat, or even as you simply exist, the microscopic world within you is subtly yet profoundly shaping your mental and emotional landscape, an invisible orchestra playing tunes that resonate through your entire being. And finally, consider the subtle currents of human connection and environmental cues that constantly flow around us, shaping our mood without a word being spoken. Even without direct interaction, our unconscious mind is attuned to the presence of others. The simple act of walking through a bustling, friendly street, even if you don't speak to anyone, can subtly boost your mood. Our mirror neurons, those remarkable brain cells that fire both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else doing it, allow us to unconsciously pick up on the emotions and intentions of those around us, creating a sense of shared experience and belonging. A quick, genuine smile from a stranger can release a tiny burst of oxytocin, a bonding hormone, subtly elevating our sense of connection and safety. Beyond human interaction, our environment constantly sends unconscious signals. The warmth of a room, the quality of light, natural sunlight in particular, plays a critical role in regulating our circadian rhythms, influencing our sleep-wake cycle, and the production of mood-stabilizing hormones. Even the absence of jarring noises or the presence of soft, harmonious sounds can calm our nervous system, reducing the background hum of vigilance that can deplete our energy and fray our nerves. These aren't grand gestures, they are micro moments, subtle cues that aggregate to form a robust underlying foundation for our daily happiness. So you see, much of our well-being isn't about monumental efforts, but about these quiet, diligent forces working behind the scenes. Our bodies and minds are far more interconnected and responsive than we often realize, constantly striving for balance and harmony. Yet as we rest here in this moment, we might also wonder, what new forces are shaping these ancient systems? How is the world we're building, with all its technology and rapid change, influencing these timeless drivers of contentment? Tonight, as the world outside softens into quiet, let's gently drift into a landscape shaped not just by nature, but by human ingenuity. The vast, intricate tapestry woven by technology and society. Imagine our journey into the future, a path we walk hand in hand with innovation, wondering how it will nurture or challenge that delicate bloom we call happiness. Picture, if you will, a magnificent, swiftly flowing river. This river is technology, ceaselessly carving new landscapes and altering the currents of our lives. And on its banks stands society, a bustling, intricate city, constantly adapting to the river's ebb and flow. Our happiness, that gentle, flickering flame, seeks shelter and warmth amidst this dynamic dance, trying to find fertile ground in ever-changing soil. Sometimes, the river of technology can feel like a torrent, rushing past us, pulling us along before we've had a chance to fully understand its direction. Think of those tiny dings from our devices, like distant chimes beckoning us. Each notification, each little like, triggers a fleeting release of dopamine in our brains, a potent neurotransmitter associated with reward and motivation. Our ancient brains, wired for scarcity and the thrill of an unexpected treat, find these unpredictable rewards incredibly alluring. It's a powerful feedback loop. But this constant seeking, this fragmented attention, can subtly erode our capacity for deep focus and sustained engagement. Research in cognitive psychology shows that frequent task switching, often encouraged by our multi-device lives, doesn't just make us feel busy. It actually reduces our overall cognitive performance, making it harder to engage deeply with one task or even with one another. We might feel productive, but paradoxically, less truly present and often more stressed. Then there's the digital mirror, a vast, shimmering surface that reflects curated realities. Social media, a powerful tool for connection, can also become a grand stage for comparison. Our brains, inherently social creatures, are wired to understand our place within a group. It's an evolutionary imperative. But when we're constantly exposed to idealized, often filtered versions of others' lives, our limbic system, the seat of our emotions, can interpret this as a subtle threat to our own standing or sense of worth. This relentless, often subconscious comparison has been linked by psychologists to increased feelings of anxiety, loneliness, and depression, particularly in young people. It's as if our natural inclination to keep up with the Joneses gets amplified exponentially in the digital sphere, making lasting contentment feel like a finish line that constantly recedes. The hedonic treadmill, that well-known psychological phenomenon where we quickly adapt to new levels of stimuli and need more and more to feel satisfied, spins faster in this environment, making profound, sustained happiness elusive. Yet this same river of technology carries currents of incredible potential, like vital nutrients flowing to thirsty soil. It can bridge vast distances, allowing us to maintain crucial social bonds with loved ones across continents. Neuroscientists consistently highlight the profound importance of strong, supportive social connections for long-term happiness, mental resilience, and even physical health. These bonds, after all, stimulate the release of oxytocin, sometimes called the cuddle hormone, fostering trust, empathy, and a deep sense of belonging. Video calls, instant messages, shared experiences in carefully crafted digital spaces. These aren't merely virtual. They are powerful extensions of our inherent human need for connection, nourishing the roots of our well-being. Technology can also be a magnificent library, an endless classroom, a workshop without walls. Access to knowledge, once a luxury reserved for a few, is now at our fingertips, empowering us to cultivate new skills, explore hidden passions, and engage in a lifetime of learning. When we are deeply absorbed in a challenging but achievable task, losing track of time and self, we enter a state known as flow, a concept championed by positive psychologists. This state of profound engagement is deeply rewarding, and technology, with its vast resources and interactive platforms, can be a powerful catalyst for achieving it, whether through mastering a new instrument with online tutorials, delving into complex scientific theories, or coding a dream into reality. Consider, too, how technology assists our very health and well-being. Wearable devices can help us understand the intricacies of our sleep patterns, heart rates, and activity levels, giving us personalized data to make healthier choices for our bodies. Mindfulness apps guide us through meditation, training our brains to cultivate calm, focus, and presence, gently reshaping neural pathways. Telemedicine opens vital doors to healthcare for those in remote areas, and artificial intelligence is assisting in everything from medical diagnoses to drug discovery, potentially extending healthy lifespans and alleviating suffering for millions globally. As automation reshapes industries and the very nature of work, society faces a crucial question. Will this technological tide lead to widespread displacement and widening inequality, or will it liberate humanity for more creative, meaningful pursuits? Psychological research into human motivation suggests that intrinsic rewards, autonomy, mastery, and purpose, are far more powerful drivers of long-term satisfaction and happiness than purely extrinsic ones like money alone. Societies that embrace technology not just for efficiency, but to reduce drudgery and foster environments where individuals can pursue these intrinsic motivations, are likely to see a profound boost in collective well-being. This requires careful, ethical consideration of universal basic income, robust reskilling programs, and fostering new, flexible models of work and leisure that prioritize human flourishing. However, access to this powerful, life-altering river of technology isn't equal. The digital divide, the persistent gap between those who have access to information and communication technologies and those who don't, can exacerbate existing social and economic inequalities. This limits educational opportunities, economic mobility, and even civic participation for significant portions of the global population. Bridging this divide is not merely an act of charity, but a societal imperative, as social equity and inclusion are foundational pillars for collective well-being and a truly happy future. Ultimately, the future of our happiness, intertwined with technology and society, isn't predetermined. It is a garden we collectively tend. We have the agency to design and direct technology not just for profit or sheer efficiency, but specifically for human well-being. This involves ethical AI, transparent algorithms, and user interfaces that prioritize mental health, genuine connection, and conscious engagement over addictive design. Companies, policymakers, educators, and individuals, guided by profound psychological and sociological insights, can foster an ecosystem where technology truly serves humanity's highest aspirations, illuminating paths to deeper contentment and shared prosperity. So, as the gentle current of our thoughts carries us, remember that we are not merely passengers on this river of progress. We are its navigators, its architects, its gardeners. Our choices, both individual and collective, will determine whether the seeds of technology blossom into a future rich with profound happiness, or whether they become tangled weeds in an overgrown landscape. The responsibility is ours, and so too is the profound opportunity to shape a better tomorrow. As we consider how we build these future landscapes, let's also turn our thoughts to the very fabric of our communities and how our interactions within them also shape our journey towards happiness. And now, as the world outside softens into the quiet hush of night and the last whispers of the day fade into memory, we gently close the book on our journey tonight. We've drifted through the fascinating, intricate landscapes of what we call happiness, not with hurried footsteps, but with a quiet curiosity, like stargazers gazing at distant, shimmering constellations. We haven't sought to capture happiness, to pin it down like a butterfly, but rather to understand its gentle flight, its luminous dance. Remember how we spoke of its many forms, not as a single towering peak to be scaled, but as a vast undulating meadow dotted with countless wildflowers, each bloom a different shade, a different fragrance, a quiet moment of contentment, a burst of shared laughter, the comforting warmth of connection, the gentle balm of peace. We explored the subtle inner currents that flow within us, like hidden springs feeding a quiet stream, nourishing our spirits with feelings of joy and tranquility. We considered how these inner workings, these delicate systems of wonder, allow us to experience such richness, such profound and simple beauty. It's a remarkable design, isn't it? A testament to the quiet artistry of existence itself, that we are woven with the very capacity for such luminous feelings. And we also reflected on how happiness isn't always a grand spectacle, but often a quiet invitation. An invitation to notice the small wonders, the way light falls through a window, the soft texture of a familiar blanket, the distant hoot of an owl, the steady rhythm of our own breath. It's in these gentle observations, perhaps, that we find its truest, most enduring form, not as something to be chased, but as something to be gently welcomed. We've seen that it's not a finish line to cross, but a continuous flowing river, sometimes wide and calm, sometimes shimmering with ripples, always moving, always changing, yet always present in its own gentle way. There's a quiet strength in understanding this, isn't there? A sense of peace in knowing that happiness isn't a fleeting mirage, but a deeply embedded part of our human story, a fundamental note in the symphony of life. It's an understanding that doesn't demand answers, but encourages a soft acceptance, a gentle appreciation for the unfolding mystery. We don't need to grasp every scientific detail, every intricate connection, to feel the comfort of its presence or the wonder of its possibility. Sometimes, simply knowing that such beauty exists within and around us is enough to soothe the spirit and quiet the mind. Now, as your own breath deepens and slows and the world outside grows hushed and still, allow these gentle thoughts to settle around you like soft, silken threads. There's no need to hold on to them tightly. Just let them drift, like the last leaves of autumn, spiraling gracefully to the ground. Let the wonder of happiness, its quiet strength and its gentle ebb and flow, become a comforting whisper in your mind. For tonight, your journey of understanding doesn't end. It simply transforms. As your eyes grow heavy and your conscious thoughts begin to soften and blur, your mind will continue its gentle work. These reflections, this quiet exploration of joy and contentment, will not vanish into the night. Instead, they will gently weave themselves into the tapestry of your dreams. Your subconscious mind, ever vigilant, ever creative, will take these seeds of wonder and nurture them, allowing them to bloom in the quiet gardens of your sleep. Perhaps, in your dreams, you'll find yourself floating on that shimmering river of happiness, or walking through that meadow of wildflowers, experiencing its truths in new and imaginative ways. Perhaps you'll simply rest in a profound sense of peace, knowing that the capacity for happiness, in all its quiet forms, lives forever within you, a gentle light that never truly dims. So, as you drift deeper into slumber, take with you this soft understanding that the pursuit of happiness is not a frantic chase, but a gentle noticing, a quiet unfolding, and know that as you sleep, peaceful thoughts continue their silent dance. Rest now, dear one. May your dreams be filled with gentle wonder, and may you awaken with a heart refreshed and a spirit at peace. Good night. Sweet dreams.